Hey guys, welcome to a project inside of mine where I give a detailed showdown of how I produce specific projects. I'll talk about my creative decisions and which gear I chose and how I managed to stay within the client's budget. This video will be about the lighting techniques I use on a live sessions project for Jay Abrego. A fellow Filipino friend of mine who lives in Switzerland asked me if I could do a live sessions video for him. He's a professional musician and was planning to do a live sessions with 2 other guys. He sent me a reference video from Arcade and asked me if I could do it in those colors. I looked at it and it looked really awesome and I was really excited, and I said, you know what? No problem. Now for the location, he found a really cool attic at the youth club and he asked if we could have it for the weekend, and they said, yeah, no problem. The attic also had a really nice vintage looking wooden texture and it looked really interesting for the background. So after doing a short scout around the attic, I started planning my lighting setup. Naturally, the budget wasn't so high, so I chose to go with 3 tungsten colored quartz beams, 3 deado lights, and 2 softboxes. So first of all, we needed a key light to light up all 3 musicians. So instead of having them stand beside each other in a straight line and having the softbox shine straight onto them, I decided that they stand in a circle, and I had one soft light coming from above lighting the middle of the attic, and that way everyone was lit evenly from the front. In order to do this, I went up to the 2nd floor, I attached a diffuser, and then I put one of the quartz beams there. It had an awesome tungsten light, and that gave a really nice warm cone of light going down straight to the middle of the attic. I knew I had to give the video a nice mood, so I had to separate the subjects from the background. In order to do that, I used the old trick color contrast. So the face has one color and the complementary color of the face was blue, so I decided to color the background blue. I used my own LED lights and the quartz beam lights, and because the background of the attic had a lot of wooden texture, I decided to use hard lighting for the background. Now make sure, if you rent lights, to always get a dimmer with it. Unfortunately, I forgot to get some dimmers, and then I had to arrange the angle to not spill too much light into the background. Now let's move on to the backlight I used. I had 3 small deado lights that I placed behind each person. The backlight would naturally spill to the people standing on the opposite side, but that's actually a good thing because then the warm tungsten light kind of mixes up and it's complementing the main key light from above. So now the light was set, we have this nice key light from the middle, this nice cone of tungsten madness, and then we have the backlights from the small deados, and we have the background colored blue with all these wooden textures coming out. Now it already looked really awesome, but there were still some areas in the background that were pitch black, and in order to give it some texture, I went to the 2nd floor and found that the wooden boards had gaps and cracks in between them, so I just put a softbox up there, removed the diffuser, and filled out those black spaces with lines of light coming through those cracks and gaps. I was really happy with how everything looked, but there was this final touch that I would normally always do, and it's to use a Heiser to make it all soft and more epic. Unfortunately, I forgot about the Heiser, and it was a Sunday and all the rentals were closed, so we had to improvise. We got a bag of flour instead. The bad part was that I had to poof the flour before every take, but to our advantage, the particles were actually much rougher and they would disappear much quicker, but you could actually see more of those particles floating around in the air. I also realized that shooting some B-roll of only these flour particles was a huge help for me in post-production. You have to make sure that the background is totally black, and then you can just bring it in post-production, put it to screen, and overlay it to any video sequence you want. To give the whole look a final touch, I enhanced the contrast and gave it more of this color contrast color. It basically just gave the cold and the warm colors a little bit of the right hue. If you're filming a music video by yourself, you really need to know specific filming techniques to nail that synchronization. I'll be talking about camera movements and post-production, and especially how to synchronize for music videos in my next video. Also, feel free to subscribe for this kind of content where I'll be talking about my past projects and give you a little more insight on how I actually produce those videos. So stay tuned.